Welcome to episode 19 of The Wonder of Star Wars: The Old Republic. I hope you guys can forgive me because I believe in this episode I may spend more time talking than I do questing because there was a huge announcement since I last played and so much crazy information, updates, and news has come out. I just absolutely want to share it all. The first thing I want to share with you guys is if you are watching this when it's released on Thursday, October 5th, I'm going to be joining a podcast live to talk about the new updates. So if you want to join us tonight, if you're watching this earlier in the day, we are going to be recording at 11:15 p.m. EST, and I will be with Corellian Run Radio on Twitch, and I'll put all the information down in the description of this video in the first comment. So if you're watching this day of release, you guys can definitely come join us to talk about all the new updates live. Second big thing that I want to talk about is the new updated roadmap that we just got. And the roadmap helps outline what's coming up for the next couple of months in the game. Usually it's something like we're going to be getting a flashpoint, we're going to be bringing back some companions, stuff like that. And this update had all of those things. We're going to be having a bunch of companions that are working their way back into the story, previous companions that people lost at Endgame. And the really huge piece of news that's got everyone interested is there is going to be server merges. And when server merges happen, this is both a fantastic and kind of sad thing at the same time. So server merges happen when there are two or more smaller servers. They push them together so that the people on the two different servers can play together and have a better chance at doing group content like PvP and operations, flashpoints, or even just roleplay, I guess. And so players have been requesting server merges for some of the quieter servers like Jungma and Prophecy of the Five for probably 2 or 3 years now. I think I've mentioned it before, but my entire guild of 100 plus people transferred our characters because our server was so quiet, and now servers are finally officially being merged. It sounds like the team wanted to do this a long time ago, but they were struggling with the fact that there are so many features that didn't exist when they used to do server merges a long time ago when the game first came out. For example, our legacy systems have way more achievements, unlocks, stuff like that. We have strongholds. What do you do if you have a Coruscant stronghold on both servers and they get merged? We have a bunch of guild features have been added since then, like flagships. How does that happen? How do guilds get merged together? What if they have the same name? Stuff like that. And they have gone through every single potential possible issue and like figured out what's going to happen for each of them and like made this huge list. So what you basically need to know about these server merges, they're going to be happening if you're watching this video soon or close to when it was released. They are happening November 18th, 2017. If you're watching this long after it's come out, I hope you guys are enjoying the new servers. So what you need to know about it is that you don't really need to do anything. You don't need to prepare your character. If you've ever had to try and transfer a character before, you know there's a lot of steps you need to take to make sure your items and your mails and your DTN listings don't get deleted and your stronghold gets deleted and blah blah blah. The good news is pretty much nothing will get removed or changed during the server transfer. You may even actually potentially gain some nice little perks from the server merges. So for example, what happens if you have a Coruscant stronghold on the Prophecy of the Five server and you have a Coruscant stronghold on the Ebon Hawk server where I am right now? You'll actually wind up with two different Coruscant strongholds on the same server. Nice. So that's a perk. And even if you have decorations in both of them, the decorations will come with you. Let's say you have like a total of 4 chairs. And you had 4 chairs on the old server and you have 4 chairs on the new one. Those chairs will stay put down in your stronghold, so you'll have a total of 8 chairs down. You just won't actually have 8 magic chairs from nowhere to be able to place in your other strongholds. And like your items come with you. We're going to be getting legacy credits, which are really cool. You're going to be able to put credits in your legacy bank, so you'll have both a personal credit store on your characters and you'll have legacy credits that can be shared between all your characters. So many cool updates coming out. And yeah, so server merges, don't stress. The only thing that you do really need to know, and I feel it's important to share, is that when two servers merge, some players will have the same name. So for example, if there is a Javiik on another server, you know what? I might actually lose my name. I guess we'll go find out later. But long story short, for this server merge, subscribers will get priority in names over free-to-play and preferred players. So people who are currently paying for the game get priority to keep their names over people who are not paying, which is pretty fair. Like I have said in the past, BioWare is a business. They should definitely reward their paying customers. Now, where this starts getting tricky is that, let's say two subscribers have the same name. Who gets to keep their name? The answer is a little complicated. They've mentioned that in general, a character that is a high level and has more hours played on it will get to keep their name over a character that's like level 20 and barely gets played. What happens when two characters who are played often and are both subscribers and are both level 70 have the same name? We don't know exactly which one will win. They decided that they don't want to reveal the exact details of exactly how name collisions will work, and that way people can't try to kind of con the system before it comes out. So basically Javiik might actually have to change his name. We'll just change it to something with similar spelling, which is kind of sad, but I'm not super fussed about it. And I'm more worried about my other main characters. I've already had to change my main character, my Vanguard Trooper you see in the Academy videos. I already had to change her name once. I don't really want to do it again. And I've got a couple other characters who survived server merges and server transfer names before, and I don't want to change them either. So now that I've told you about that, so short and simple, if you're worried about your names, make sure you're subscribed. Don't, on November 18th, I'd give yourself a little wiggle room too. Make sure you're subscribed like November 15th to, I don't know, 21st. If you don't subscribe 24/7, just give yourself some room to make sure you're subbed on that date. And don't forget, you can always just subscribe for 1 month and unsub again afterwards. It's not too hard to cancel your subscription. So yeah, let's go start some quests and I'll tell you more about the server merges.
There's been chatter on the resistance frequencies while you were off planting the ordnance. Resistance grenades have been malfunctioning. Would you know anything about that?
That's not my responsibility.
I don't know anything about that.
Funny, because Toybox said something quite different when I asked him why he still had trapped comms on his table today. He suggested the two of you disobeyed our battle plan and neglected to inform any Imperial units of the rather explosive changes. We now have to throw out every salvaged grenade in the mix because we don't know which ones are rigged to blow.
The Resistance has to do the same, and they lost soldiers. You're still ahead.
That is 1 point in your favor, but a war of attrition was not what I had in mind. For his part in this, Toybox will spend a few days in the stockade and receive lashes. You I cannot punish, but I doubt we will work together again.
Bye. I'm gonna pump up the volume a bit. Sorry if it's quiet. Oh, it's up all the way. Never mind. Sweet, we got a relic. It's not better than what we got though. So let's start with what are the servers that are going to be merged. I am currently on the server called Ebon Hawk. Oh, that's a wall. I'm trying to go grab the server list with my phone. Oh, I have a speeder. I am currently on the helicopter. We're trying to have a little chat. See if I can find this list of servers. Okay, so I'm currently on the Ebon Hawk server, and that is an East Coast PvE RP server. Forgive me, I don't know what my own server is. And I am on this server just because that's where my guild is, and we picked this one because it was fairly active at the time we were trying to pick a new server. Cover cyborg rocket packs. Hey, hello cyborgs. Now, all of the East Coast servers will be merged into one server in the United States, and all of the West Coast servers will be merged into one West Coast server. So the servers that are going to wind up on the same server as me, the East Coast ones, are going to be Jedi Covenant, Shadowlands, Ebon Hawk, Prophecy of the Five, and Jung Ma. Jung Ma is actually the server I used to be on, and they will be merged together, and that will be called the Starforge server. And for those of you who played the Knights of the Old Republic game, that is a huge reference to that game. Really cool lore reference if you don't know what the Starforge is and are going to be on the East Coast. I highly recommend you look it up before transferring. That way you can be in on this sweet, sweet lore secrets. Cyborg packs. Hey, there's a quest over there. Now, all the West Coast servers, there is much less of them. There is the Harbinger Hamster, Bagarian Colony that no one can ever spell right, including the developers of the game, and the Bastion. And they are going to be merged into a server called Satil Shan. What's especially funny is that when they first made this announcement, which that was super easy quest. Let's go pick up that other quest. When it was first announced, the server had a very silly name that I'll tell you about in a few seconds. Oh. Droid forces have entrenched themselves around the satellite control tower in the Makaran Plains. Their presence is halting Imperial expansion and disrupting outward communications. Cull the droid forces and overload the nearby callback stations to disrupt their transmissions. Scan the area for a C-11 battle droid. Recover C-11 battleship. It could provide the Empire with additional insight into the droid's behavior. Yeah, it could. I wonder why that one didn't have a proper quest. I wonder what happened there. And the original server name for the West Coast server, if you guys have been following up on the news, I'm sure you're already amused by this. It was going to be called the Hot Prospect. And this is apparently the name of a ship from the Star Wars The Old Republic comics. And if you read the comics, I'm sure that sounds like not a bad name to you. Pretty good. It's a kind of smugglery sounding name, I guess you could say. And I'm assuming it's the prospects of winning a battle or the prospects of gambling. I apologize, maybe there's more to it, or maybe it's just a ship name. I have not read the comics. But I do like a lot of the characters that I know about from the comics, so I'm assuming it's pretty cool if you know about it. Unfortunately... Thanks, Kimval. What do you gotta say? Probably something snarky. I think we have found the secret to raining death from the sky. I mean... Sometimes I lightning, I guess, Kimval. Thank you for your insights. Anyways. But without any knowledge that it comes from lore at all, and even with it, I would say it's kind of a pretty funny name. The other servers got some really cool names that I'll tell you about in a few minutes, but I mean, think about it. Starforge, the almighty forge that is tainted by the dark side and can produce infinite ships. And it has to do with Revan and all kinds of other really cool historical figures. Versus the Hat Prospect. It's a fun name, I will say. Apparently there was a server way back when that used to be called the Fat Man. I'm not sure where that name came from in lore, but it is a very fun name. It makes me think it should belong to like a PvP server or something like that. So I feel like the Hot Prospect definitely does fit in with some of the other server names they've picked in the past. It's not totally out of left field, but of the names that they picked for the other servers, it really stood out. And I thought it was especially funny because Harbinger is often made fun of for being the most likely to crash. It's regained its title more recently with the other servers crashing too, but it used to crash all the time. People would call it Harbinger Hamster. You gotta feed the hamster on a hamster wheel or to keep it running. And Harbinger is also known as being a little more, I'm not sure I would say call it toxic, but just in general, because there's more people on that server, it's less of a small community, so there's sometimes some more colorful players, and I don't mean like purple and green on that server. So Harbinger kind of has a reputation of its own for being very well populated, but not necessarily being like community oriented. So they got named the Hat Prospect. So this name, many players disliked it. There's definitely some players that liked it, and it's everyone's opinion, but the people saying they disliked it were definitely very loud and very frequent. Like, I saw those comments, I was like, what a dumb server name. On Twitter I saw them during the live stream the developers did, I saw them on Reddit. They weren't like just an isolated incident of one person saying that's a dumb name. So they decided to change it, and it is now called Satil Shan, which is, I think, a pretty decent server name. She's got a lot of credit to her, I guess you could say, in lore, especially in this specific game. She's a really cool character. Now, I think it's also a especially fitting name because on the European side of things, they are merging the servers by language. So there's going to be, on the United States, there's going to be East Coast and a West Coast, and they're both technically English servers, I guess. And on the European side of things, there will be an English server, a French server, and a German server, and that's how they are being merged. Pretty simple, feels like a pretty obvious thing to do. Players are very welcome to, of course, play on servers that aren't their main language. So, for example, there's lots of French and German and Spanish and Puerto Rican, and I don't know about Puerto Rican, but there is a lot. There's some Russians, some Hungarians, hey guys, on Red Eclipse as well, just because it's the closest server and the most populated at the time. People from all different countries all over Europe, and even a few American players are on the Red Eclipse. And that Red Eclipse server, as well as the other two English European servers, which are the I always say this wrong, the Big Fish, the Progenitor, and the Tome of Friedenad, another very quiet server. I don't know what I'm doing, I can't talk and press buttons at the same time. They are being combined into the Darth Malgus server, and that's going to be the English European server. So I think Satil Shan and Darth Malgus, if there's a Darth Malgus server, Satil Shan seems like a good name to me for another server. I saw a funny comment, someone was saying, I really think that Satil Shan shouldn't be chosen as a server name because none of the other servers are based on active characters. For example, there's like, I don't know, was there a Zane Carrick server ever back in the day? Stuff like that. They're all like kind of legends things, like the Starforge. Starforge is now exploded. Sorry to inform you of this if you weren't aware. The Starforge no longer floats in the sky. Or is there like some random book that like there's Starforge 2.0? I don't think so. But yeah, Satil Shan is pretty much the only server that will be named after a living person. I actually don't know what the very original server names are, so I could be wrong, though. I would love to hear if anyone knows of any of the really good old server names, like before the 6 rounds. Like, I think we've gone to somewhere between 2 and 4 server merges over the game's lifespan. There we go, we can turn these in now. So, for the French and the German servers on the European side of things, the Mantle of Force, Battle of Meditation, and Darth Nihilus, they are the French servers, and they are going to become the Leviathan. And I feel like I definitely know the Leviathan. I'm pretty sure it's a ship. I'm like 99% sure it's a ship. I'm pretty sure it's from Knights of the Old Republic. You know what? I'm willing to look it up right now, because I think I know what it is, but I don't want to tell you guys some wrong lore. Star Wars, the Leviathan. Come on, Kimball, tell us all about it. Oh, okay, there's like 6 things that the Leviathan could refer to in Star Wars, but I'm guessing the one that they're probably referring to is the Dreadnought class, heavy cruiser, you know, with the really big Imperial looking ships, Darth Malak's command ship. Is that the one you go fight him on at the very end of the game? Oh, sorry, spoilers.
But has it, the former Balmoran Minister of Defense, Vol Argon, got wind of your work destroying the generators at Nibre Warehouse? He's furious. I can't wait to hear his reaction when we attack him with his own cyborg's gear. Perfect.
Maybe he'll decide to come here and fight. so I can kill him.
We'll do our utmost to provoke him. To reach the Resistance's main base, we need to push through the Gorinth wilds. But the Resistance have repelled all Imperial offensives with guerrilla attacks from this untamed and largely uncharted area. A Balmoran defector, Cavil Aaron, has agreed to help us clear out the wilds and carve a path to the Resistance's base. He's at the Gorinth Imperial outpost.
Alright. Quest connections. There's one out there I need to go do, huh? Yeah, let's go. Let's do every quest. Maybe we'll find some more datacrons along the way. Really, I keep thinking about the one that we did last episode, the red one that required 2 people. That was an especially neat one. Alright, so what else is happening for server merges? Oh, this is another kind of important one for those of you who are playing... that thing just made a noise at me. For those of you who are playing specifically on free-to-play accounts. So let's say you have 16 characters on one server and you have 16 characters on another on a subscribed account. That's fine. That's not an issue. You're gonna get them combined and there's gonna be, I'm bad at math, 32 characters on your new server. No issue. You can still play them all. Not a problem.
Get down! The droid patrols will spot you. Apologies for shouting, my lord. But if they find one of us, they'll find all of us. I'm Lieutenant Rutau, 5th Infantry, 2nd Battalion Besh Company. I'd say 1st Platoon, but there isn't one anymore.
Your ankle is charred down to the bone. You need a medevac out of here.
Oh, that. I knocked over a droid and he shot me from the ground while I was slagging the others. That faceless one there is him. It was one of the many droid patrols from the Okara factory. They spotted us uploading a virus, surrounded us. It was ruthless. Droids aren't like people. They don't retreat. They don't accept surrender. They just keep exterminating. So now it's up to me.
Is there nothing I can do to help?
No, I can shoot and move. I think some of the bone is still intact. If I can ambush enough patrols of battle droids, I can upload my packets and run before my painkiller wears off. What else can I do?
This guy's crazy.
I'm not going to ask you to go where I wouldn't.
I'll do it.
Your courage is admirable, but unnecessary. Give me the viruses.
You do have a maneuverability advantage. If you're keen to do it, I guess that's best. Here are the virus packets. Your targets are the probe droids that travel with patrol escorts of battle droids. Destroy the battle droids, then use this security spike to crack the probes. They'll upload the viruses right into their network.
Now, off the top of my head, I'm not sure how many characters someone can have normally on a server. I think it's something like 12 or 16 if you're subscribed. A lot lower for preferred and free-to-play. For free-to-play, we definitely know we only have 3. So, or 2. Javiik's one of 2 that we can possibly have on this server. But let's say, like I said, you have 16 on one server and 16 on another and they get merged together. I don't know if you can have all 32 of them active at the same time. Or do you need to buy some character unlocks? Because you can have currently a total of 52 per server if you buy every single unlock or you get them for free or whatever. Eventually you have 52 that you can use. So I don't know about that. I should probably go figure that out because I have a ton of characters from Jungma. Just they're like low level whatever ones, but I still need to figure out what I'm gonna do with them. Like, do I need to like just ignore them and not play them? Should I just delete them since I'm not gonna play them anyway? I don't know. What I did really want to point out that we know for sure is that free-to-play players are limited to 2 characters per server. This is not going to change. So let's say you are taking advantage of the fact that you can make 2 characters on every server, and maybe say across multiple servers you have a total of like 8. Like you made 1 of every class, they're just split up between the servers. Now all 8 of those, so depending on which exact servers they're on, a bunch of them will get merged together. Like a potential, if you're like on East Coast like I am, you're gonna have like, if you have 2 in every one, you're gonna have a total of 10 characters there as a free-to-play player, and you will be back down to being allowed to play 2 of those 10, unfortunately. So what's going to happen for you is all of those 10 are going to be set to deactivated, There we go. And you're going to be able to pick the 2 that you want to play and to keep active. So the other 8 will just sit there in kind of purgatory. They won't get deleted in any way, they won't be harmed in any way, but you won't be able to play them until you subscribe. Or technically what you could also do is you could transfer them to other servers, I guess. You could do, I've got a video up about cartel coin achievements. There's still only 90 cartel coins. So you could maybe transfer them to, I don't know, if you're on American, you could transfer them to the European servers or something, I don't know. Oh, I should have read that quest. It was go kill droids, probably. Why are all these droid quests just text? This is the same thing, nothing super interesting, sorry, it just wants me to go. Whoa. That's a long way down, let's go see the other elevator first. So yeah, that really sucks for free-to-play players because before you could have, what is it? There was, I think, 17 servers. You could have 17 times 2, 34 characters total. That is more than enough to see all the stories and all the combinations in the game. Now you are going to be down to a possible total of 10 characters just flat out as a free-to-play player, 10, and that is it. Luckily, I am still very happy. That is more than enough for a free-to-play player to see all the stories, which is what I think should be the, I guess, goal for free-to-play players. Should be allowed to see all the stories if they're willing to do a little bit of legwork and have a little bit of, I guess what you could say, setbacks in the form of not having them all on the same server. So that's good. I'm happy about that, but I'm sad about people who are going to have those characters that they can originally play are now merged and they can only play 2 of them. So I'm hoping for you guys, basically, that I hope you have at least, if you're doing that method, you have them at least spread out between East and West Coast or the different language servers, though I kind of doubt it. Blech. Let's see. Oh, by the way, speaking of character names, the same day I believe that server merges are happening, November 18th, they're also going to do a name purge. So, characters that have not logged in for 90 days and has not progressed beyond level 10 will be flagged to rename their character. So let's say someone has the name, awesome name, Moon, M-O-O-N. Like the sun and the moon, and they have not logged in 3 months, and their character is only like level 9 because they didn't feel like playing it anymore, then their character name is going to get deleted. So the nice thing is that someone who has Moon on a different server who gets merged together will automatically win the name battle. Awesome. Oh, I really like this section of the Okara droid factory. It's just a neat little area you can... Let's go see if we can get up there. There's a Datacron here. I know it. I remember it. This is why it's cool. Look. Woohoo! It's actually making me a little dizzy. Never mind. Okay, where is that Datacron? I know it's down here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. I hear it. Oh, is this where I accidentally fall to my death? Oh, I'll finish everything up here. I'm gonna be mad, aren't I? Friends list won't be affected. If your friend has to change their name, it's not an issue. They'll still be on there. Same thing with the ignore list. It's not going to be an issue. You don't have to go figure out whoever you're ignoring's new names. GTN listings should actually stay up, which is kind of surprising to me. They'll still be up. The only thing you might want to be aware of is that if you have GTN listings on multiple servers, they're all suddenly going to be up on one server. I wouldn't worry about if you have too many, if you're like a GTN mogul. If you have stamped outfits, that is one of the big issues when transferring servers, they get deleted. But with the server merge that's upcoming, you don't have to worry about your outfits. They specifically said they will be maintained, not an issue. Oh, Droid. Oh, I'm supposed to be doing something to them. Supposed to be giving them the virus. Okay, you free little droid. Oh, can I bump them into the lava? That'd be super cool. Get in there! Burn! Me and my husband have been playing Divinity 2 Original Sin, or I think the 2 goes at the end, I'm not sure, but that game is so fun. I love setting things on fire. I mean, I know that's not probably too surprising. It's a fun pastime for the young and the old. What else is there to worry about servers? How will character transfers work? They are going to be closing server transfers, I believe, October 24th. So you won't be able to transfer your character for a while. What does this mean for you if you are planning on transferring? You have two options. You can either, let's say you want to wind up on the Satil Shan server, you want to wind up on the West Coast. Maybe you're accidentally playing on the East Coast right now and you don't want to be there. So you can transfer now to a server that's currently on the West Coast and will eventually become that new server, and you'll get naturally merged in. Or you can wait until they let server transfers go back up again sometime after October 24th. The only thing is we don't know when that date's gonna be. So we don't know if it might be like 2 months later, though I doubt it, and that would kind of suck while you're waiting to play. So I would say if you know for sure that you want to wind up, like say you found out some guildmates you want to play with are going to wind up on the Satil Shan server, so you're going there, you don't care about if the server's bad or good, you just want to go. You can transfer now. It's probably not a bad idea, save you some trouble later, let you get straight into the action when the big update comes. And if you're thinking, oh, I want to wind up on the most populated server, that's probably going to be the Satil Shan server, or maybe it's going to be a Starforge, you're probably better off waiting, because things are going to, I think, be in flux for a while as everyone figures out exactly where they want to be and where they're going to stay. And for example, right now the Harbinger is the most populated server by a far long shot, and that's going to be the West Coast Satil Shan server. But the East Coast server, Starforge, is actually going to be made up of more servers merging together. There's 5 East Coast servers and only 3 West Coast ones. So some people are thinking the East Coast one might have more because it has more servers. Some people are thinking West Coast just because Harbinger is such an absolute beast in terms of population. Oh, did I infect you yet? Here, have a little virus. Here you go. So I don't actually know which one's going to be the most populated. I think both are good arguments, because Harbinger is really populated, and although there's going to be 5 merging into one East Coast, a lot of them are small. They're little itty bitty servers that are very, very quiet. Like, you're lucky to find 15 people on the entire server on some parts of the day. Kill more droids. I'm sick of killing droids. I want to go do other stuff. Like, go get that Datagron. What else do you have to worry about? Okay, legacy name and level. So let's say you have a legacy level 20 on one server and a legacy level 50 on the other, and that's shared across that entire server. It's not tied to just one character. The one that's higher level will win, so you'll wind up being level 50. An interesting question I saw that someone asked was, let's say you have 2 level 50 legacies and they have a different name. One is called the Swagwalker Legacy and one is called the Bantha Poodoo Legacy. Which one will you get on the new server? And I don't think the devs were able to answer that for sure on the devs stream, the live stream where they answered questions. Ooh, I got a decoration. Light Datacron. Oh, that is not the correct decoration. There you go. Oh, it's so tiny, sorry. That's cool. I don't even have a stronghold yet. Oh, I bet you that'd be some freaking nice credits for Javiik. That's like, I think those are worth like somewhere between 25,000, 75,000. Actually, I have no idea. I haven't bought one in a long time. So, but they did say they're gonna consider making the price low for character renames, legacy renames, and guild renames. So if something wonky happens and you got the wrong name, you can fix it for cheap. So I'm glad about that. I hope to give people like free legacy renames if it somehow gives you like a random one you didn't want. Because at least the forced character renames, you can choose which one you want. Oh, I don't want to kill any more droids! What else is going on? Your legacy unlocks. So let's say you have rocket boots fully unlocked on one server. And oh, I didn't pick up a ton of stuff, did I? Rocket boots unlocked on one server, all 3 tiers unlocked, and you don't have it unlocked at all on the other server. When they get merged together, you will get the highest unlock. So even if it's at 1 on one and level tier 3 on the other, you're gonna get the tier 3 one. So that's kind of nice. If you had characters, so all your characters will get your highest unlocks and your highest achievements. So you won't have to pay for them a second time, I guess. So if you've got characters from Mantle of the Force and you've got characters from the having a brain fart where Battle Meditation, then you'll be able to just have paid once for them on one server, and then you get the others for free basically after the server merge. Apparently the mailbox, you don't have to worry about any mail in there, it says. Oh, something cool. Any legacy-wide currencies that you have are not affected. If you have more than one legacy, they will be combined. So if you have, say, command tokens on one server and command tokens on another server, bam! You now have them combined and are super rich in command tokens, but your legacy level 300 command and you don't need it, so I don't know. But you will have a bunch of characters to gear if you're very into gearing your in-game characters. So it's a blessing and a curse, I guess. Legacy bank won't have an issue. Let's say you have like 500 items in one legacy bank and 500 items in another legacy bank. You just have way too many items across your servers. I would probably run into this problem if I played actively on more than one. I don't want to do the bonus. Let's just go up here. Achievements, like I said, the highest one will be retained, just like the other legacy stuff. Strongholds are crazy, yeah. I think I mentioned this earlier, but if you have more than one stronghold, you'll get to keep both. So you could have 2 Coruscants, 3 Manons, 4 Yavins, whatever you initially unlocked. Now, the bad thing is you will only be allowed to have a total of 10 active. I believe the current active is like 5 or 6 you can have active at a time. You're going to have to pick and choose which ones you want to actually have live. But if you want to have 3 Coruscants, 3 Yavins, 3 Manons, and an Umbara stronghold, that's what you can have. Which I think is kind of cool, because like right now you can only have one of each type of stronghold. If you really love Tatooine and you'd rather have 5 variations of Tatooine than one of each kind, you can't have that right now. Even if you want to decorate them all different, it's just not a available option. Get out of here! Oh. Decorations basically come with you, so don't stress too much about that. It's going to be kind of annoying if you want to move them around and you don't have enough decorations to comply. Just be careful when picking them up. If you don't have enough total, you may not be able to put them down again, if that makes sense. And I'm going to put a link to all this info in the description and the comments, so if you want to go like read this up and check it out yourself, you'll definitely be able to. Oh, you're going to lose your family tree. I'm so sorry. I know you're going to be so upset. The family tree legacy, it literally doesn't do anything. It's just for fun. You'll have to be able to redo it. The good news is that you'll be able to reassign freely without any issues. Why this one was not able to be kept, I honestly don't know, but it's kind of funny that they even remembered it at all. Good job, BioWare team. That is not one I thought of. Cartel Codex entry. I thought that was a quest. This one is a quest right here. Alright, Codex, Balmoran corporations. Prior to the Empire's invasion, Balmora was one of the galaxy's leading independent industrial worlds. It maintained a close relationship with the Republic, but remained aloof of most galactic struggles due to the strength of its corporations, including Okara, Balmoran Arms, and Traken Industries. As a leading weapons and droid manufacturer, Balmora was a corporate-run oligarch democracy, centered on the capital of Bin Prime. The Empire took pains to leave the corporate hierarchies intact when the occupation began in an effort to smoothly transition back to full industrial production. Corporate executives who refused to cooperate were forcibly removed and replaced, and today's Balmoran corporations are puppets for the Empire, sometimes eager, often not. But it doesn't sound like they have a lot of choice going on there. Let's go get that last quest point over there. Then we'll go get the data crawl. Guilds shouldn't have any issues. Guilds should be merged. That is one other thing people worry about when transferring. Your guild doesn't really come with you if you transfer a character. Good news is, with the server merge, guilds will be maintained. I have actually been through a server merge with a guild before, and there wasn't any issues. I can't make any promises for flagships because they're a newer feature, but no problem when we went through that. What will happen is if you have two guilds of the same name, so let's say you've got the Javiik guild on the what other servers are there? You've got the Javiik guild on the T3M4 German server, and you've also got the Javiik guild on the Vandervelis chain. It's okay. You don't have to, it's not like character names. You don't have to rename them in any way. What instead will happen is that a tag will be added to the end of your name, and it will suddenly say something like the Javiik guild at Vandervelis chain, and then the Javiik guild at T3M4. Now, what's funny about this... Kill more droids. Destroy the cooling systems. That when this happened to our guild, when this server merge just happened a while ago, we should have gotten our guild name at Jungma. We did not. Instead, we got our guild name at Mitos Arrow, which was apparently a server before the game even technically came out, or it was one of the very first servers in the game. We weren't quite sure what to make of that. We didn't really like it, especially because it wasn't even our server. They never fixed it the entire time we had it, so we ended up literally just renaming our guild. We added like a "the" in the front. It was stupid. So I can't guarantee you'll actually get you'll get a tag. You'll get to keep your guild name, but it might be something stupid. I'm looking forward to seeing whether it gets the correct server names or not. Conquests are going to be disabled from October 24th to 13th, which is kind of interesting. They're calling it a time of peace, so a forced break from Conquest for a little bit. I don't know what to say. That droid quest isn't progressing. Maybe it's only the ones up top. If so, I'm sick of killing them. Sorry, bonus quest. It's not happening. PvP Ranked Season 9 if you are participating in Ranked. I'm guessing if you're watching playthrough videos, probably not, sorry. But if you are interested in PvP Ranked Season 9, the most difficult form of PvP in the game, it is going to continue as planned. You're going to retain the rank you had before, and the leaderboard will appear blank though. But it should update after you play your first ranked match, so don't freak out about your score being deleted or anything like that. Why exactly that happens, I don't know, but I guess they're like, it'll work eventually, don't stress about it, which is okay. Yeah, that's pretty much covering everything. Oh, here comes the bad things. The bad things. It's a crushing darkness. Now, there was some additional info that was given via the... Oh gosh, there was so much in that. There was some additional info given in the live stream that the devs gave. Basically just some clarifications, I guess you could say. Things like, well, we're not getting any new species. That's not happening. They mentioned a bunch of the companions that are coming back. Off the top of my head, I remember them saying Temple from, I believe, the Ancient Story. They had a whole slew of names that they were actively working on to bring back. Did I get everything now? Okay, sweet. Let's go get that data run. I wish I had a sneaky kitty right now. But there was a bunch. I'm gonna go see if I can find that after this, and I'll post it along with the links and stuff. So those of you who've been waiting for certain companions to come back, awesome. They talked a little more about the Flashpoint that's coming up. I believe at the end of November? Hey, where'd Campbell go? Hello? I can see him on my map, but I can't see him. Alright. Oh, hey, there we go. The new Flashpoint is going to be on the planet of Kopero. I don't know if that's how you say it right, but it is a Chiss planet. And I read somewhere it's definitely gonna be... Okay, do I gotta go up or down? I hear a sparkly little datacron. Oh, I remember this! I'm gonna turn on walk by pressing the slash key above the number pad, like where your numbers are on the right hand side of your keyboard. Because I'm pretty sure I've tried to do this datacron like a bunch of times and I always flub it up. Okay. Okay, well, we'll go back and get another time. Just pretend I got that beautiful sparkly thing. And I think this is a great place to take a pause. Before I go, I mentioned that, I think I mentioned in the last episode, I was looking to celebrate 20,000 subscribers really soon. I talked it over with my guildmates and they said it might be a better idea to wait until after server merges. So I'm going to be throwing a celebration shortly after server merges. It is going to be on the Starforge server. So the good news is if you're on any of the East Coast servers, you will pretty much automatically be able to attend. If you're on the West Coast or a European server, you will need to like make a level 10 character. Basically, you need to like get your ship. Or you can transfer over one character and just come for fun. The good news is, yeah, that more people can attend with less issues. And the second thing is that since I talked to my guildmates, I have a bunch of new contests and other things to do during the celebration. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. Okay, now that we've done barely any quests and failed at catching a datacron, I will see you guys on the next episode of The Wonder of Star Wars: The Old Republic.